Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for ICCFA's Back to Business webinar. My name is Andrew Kennedy, and I am the Vice President of Funeral Home and Cemetery Financing at Live Oak Bank. I love what I do, love helping others, and I'm excited to share some education with you guys this afternoon. Before we get started, I want to thank ICCFA for having me, and thank you for all that you do for our industry. I know myself, Live Oak Bank, and the industry and everyone on this call appreciates everything that you guys do for us. We have some great content that we're going to share with you guys today. Our topic for today is Conquer Cash Flow Challenges with Smart Working Capital Strategies. Before we get started, I do just want to remind everyone of the awesome chat feature we have here today. We will have some time allocated at the conclusion of our time today, but it's always good to spark some conversations and ask questions if there's a specific topic that we're covering, and feel free to throw it in the chat before you forget. Questions are always welcome and encouraged. You know, there may be someone that has the same question you do. So want to make sure that we get to each and every question to help all of you on the call here today. So again, thank you for joining us, and let's get started. So to start out, talking about cash flow and challenges that can impact cash flow. The industry as a whole the last few years has certainly gone through some changes. There probably have been some times where you may feel like this small business owner here pulling his hair out, trying to figure out what's best, what they're going to do next, how they're going to get through a slow season, a slow week, challenges. We want to kind of talk through a few things today and figure out how we can help you with those cash flow challenges. So we have a few things that we've highlighted here. You being a small business owner, managing the business where you may work, or just being an employee. I'm sure there's a lot more challenges than I have listed here that we don't hear about as often. But there are many challenges that you probably face each and every day. And I've highlighted a few of them here. Call volume, right? This industry, call volume revenues are very cyclical. You know, there could be times where you feel like it's been a week, 2, 3 weeks, and the phone hasn't rang. And there's probably times in which you feel like the phone won't stop ringing. That has been the case when you look back over the last few years. You think about the COVID cases and maybe times that were really busy and some times that were a little bit slower as well. You know, call volume can certainly impact your cash flow, and want to talk through that with you guys today and talk about how we can help you guys when times do get a little bit slower, and knowing what products are available to you, such as a working capital loan. Other challenges that you may face as a funeral home business owner or cemetery owner is collecting accounts receivable, right? Be thinking about, you know, what are you currently doing for collecting, you know, the money from families? What does that process look like? Is that an area that you could, you know, become more efficient or change? What are your peers, colleagues doing? Always trying to better understand how you can, you know, collect more money up front to help when things do get a little bit slower. A big challenge that we hear about all the time, and especially in different regions, it's more popular than others, but cremation rate. The cremation rate is certainly rising, and that is playing a role in revenues, the money that is coming in the door, right? More cremations may be a little bit more affordable, less profitable in some cases than a full burial service. Cremation rate is a big challenge that the industry is experiencing right now, and how that can impact your business cash flow. A working capital loan could be a great solution for when the cremation rate continues to rise and you're trying to figure out how you are going to make payroll, pay your bills, cover your short and long-term expenses. So we'll talk about that as well. And probably the biggest challenge that I have heard from my seat is a lack of staffing. I hear all the time, Andrew, I'd love to grow, expand, buy another business, but I don't have the staff. I don't have the help that I need to be able to do that. It's already difficult as is with our business and what we're doing today. So lack of staffing is certainly a challenge that the industry is experiencing right now that can certainly impact your cash flow and overall business. Digging deeper in that regard, retaining good help is always a challenge, right? You may be thinking, I've got a great employee, someone that I trust. There's a great working relationship. They've been your right-hand man or lady, and you trust them. They trust you. They're a huge asset to your company. You may be worried about retaining them, right? If things get a little bit slower, are you going to be able to pay them? Do you need to worry about someone trying to pick them off, bring them over to another business? And being able to help or afford good help is another thing as well. So again, we want to spend a few minutes in our time today kind of addressing the challenges that the industry is experiencing right now. Again, this is a very common feeling across the space. So if you feel like you're the individual here in this picture, rest assured that you are not alone. And there are options out there for you to better your business, better your cash flow, and hopefully, keep you from being up all night wondering when the next call is going to come in and how you're going to make ends meet. So want to spend some time providing some education, but of course, just wanted to share with you guys some of the challenges that we hear about, what you share with us, and that you're not alone, but there's a lot of great solutions out there to help you when you feel like this. So here is my definition and what I think of when I think of working capital. And, working capital loans can be extremely helpful for when you do feel like you're having cash flow challenges or constraints, kind of like what we just discussed on the previous slide. Working capital is foundational to your business. Essentially, it's the cash you have on hand to cover short-term expenses. So in my mind, I think of working capital as operating capital, money that is excess after, before short-term expenses and after expenses have been covered. Working capital loans can help you meet everyday financial obligations. So when I think of everyday financial obligations, I could think about inventory, staffing, unexpected costs that may come up, paying your taxes at the end of the year. Working capital loans and the programs that we're going to talk about today can help you conquer those challenges when you feel like cash flow is a little bit tighter. With working capital, you can grow your business, allowing for investing in marketing and new products, right? I think there's a solution for short term, but then there's also a great opportunity for working capital loans to help you achieve your long-term goals, right? Whether that's growing by adding new services, growing by adding a new event center, growing by buying another book of business. Working capital loans can help you with all of that, as it can improve your current cash flow to put you in position to do that and allow you to try new things that can help you achieve your short and long-term business goals. And then handling unexpected cost. Working capital loans can certainly help with this. In our industry, a lot of times when you are owning a funeral home business, you oftentimes own the real estate as well. When you own the real estate, you have more assets, you have equipment. There could be a leak in the roof. There could be, a parking lot that needs to be repaved, an AC unit that breaks. There's always going to be unexpected costs that may come up. And knowing that if you have the cash flow to cover it, great. If you don't have the cash flow to cover it, rest assured that there are loan products that are perfect fits for that. And we're going to spend some more time dissecting what those are, and how that can be a bridge to help you in the interim period as well. Understanding working capital. We're talking about working capital and how that can be a solution for when there are cash flow challenges that you're experiencing. So I thought it would be important to turn to Investopedia and understand what by the book definition working capital is. So by the book, working capital is a liquidity metric expressed as the difference between a company's current assets and its current liabilities. So when I think of working capital, you can think about the company's short-term liquidity and efficiency, which is what our first bullet point is referencing here. Calculating working capital provides insight into a company's short-term liquidity and efficiency. Again, I think it's a great solution, and a great feeling to know that working capital loans, operating capital loans are available to you for when you find yourself in a dire need of, I need money fast, I need to fix this, right? There could be a situation where, without working capital, you don't have the current cash flow to fix something that's impacting your day-to-day operations. Business is closed, something breaks. Again, working capital loans are a great solution to help with both the short-term liquidity and efficiency. However, a company with positive working capital generally has the potential to invest in growth and expansion. So not only are we talking about from a short-term perspective, we're also talking about how working capital can help you grow your business. And we're going to spend some time talking about that, what that looks like for our industry. But again, oftentimes people think working capital, it's a great interim product, short-term, get me what I need to fix this. It's a very seasonal, again, our industry, there's certainly seasonal swings. You may know when busier times are, different quarters, what months, and you can prepare for that. But again, I also want you guys to understand that, working capital can help you invest and grow your business as well. And we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, I would like to share with you guys the different kind of working capital loan programs that are available to you. Some of this may be material that some of it may be you just need a quick refresher, and some of it, you may not be familiar with this, and this is a great opportunity for you to learn more about what's available to you. Again, there could be, a situation today where you feel like there's a need for a working capital loan, or, there may be an opportunity when, you may never know when it will pop up, but you're going to be more familiar with what's available to you now. And that's what I want to spend time kind of sharing with you guys today, starting off with just an overview. So different products are available to you. There's business lines of credit, there's SBA lending, and there's conventional term loans and sometimes even express loans to best understand, best fit, what you're looking for. I think it's always important to work with a bank, a lender, your resources, your contacts, inquire what's available to you, and making sure that you are being put in the driver's seat to be successful. I also wanted to highlight some of the advantages of working capital loans for funeral home owners. One of my favorite things about working capital loans is there's flexibility for various operational needs. Taking that a step further, There may be an opportunity, and we've done this before, where, you can provide money that is multi-use for a time of need, right? So for instance, there could be in one loan, one working capital loan, you could finance a new retort, and you could bundle that in with money allocated for a new hearse or a new van. And you could also include maybe some funds set aside to put back into the business in terms of renovation capital, right? Maybe there is an opportunity to update your facility, put in some new carpet, this and that. What I love about a working capital loan, it's very flexible for what the need is and what the uses are. And there's ability to, again, combine multiple uses for that money into one loan payment. Working capital loans typically across the board are easier to qualify for. Sometimes you don't even need to do a hard inquiry credit pull, right? Some banks, some lenders may just need to do a soft pull. Maybe there is a lesser criteria from a debt service coverage standpoint, a lesser track record. Again, working capital loans are typically friendly or user friendly in the term that it is easier to qualify for, and again, can be used for many different reasons. Working capital loan programs are typically a very streamlined loan process. Regardless of the loan product that's listed there or the type of credit that may be available to you, working capital loans are typically a much quicker and more streamlined loan process. So you could think about that from a application standpoint, what you may need to provide in terms of financials, application, and then also a very abbreviated not only application, but underwriting and closing process. A great resource and product that could be available to you. Again, if you find yourself in a dire need of you need cash and you need cash fast, a working capital loan could be a great solution to when you're feeling the stress and lack of cash flow. And finally, just another advantage that is certainly worth mentioning, again, kind of correlates with the streamlined loan process, is faster access to funds. Universally, I think that the working capital loans could be anywhere from a 2 to 2 week start to finish, from the first call to when the money is out the door and in your hands. Again, I think, a 2-day opportunity could look like I need $50,000 for some renovation capital, or, to be able to make this month's payroll. That's money if there's a specific use and what the money's going to be used for, and you're prepared with some of the additional information that we're going to talk about in terms of preparing for applying for a working capital loan, you can get that money really quick, and it could be a great solution to help you when things are a little bit tougher or difficult from a cash flow perspective. It could be a little bit longer when you're thinking about, buying a business with no real estate. That could be included as a part of a working capital loan program that's going to allow you to get the money quicker, less fees, perhaps less additional cost up front, less third-party reports. Sometimes you can bundle that in with a working capital loan program as well, which is a great opportunity for you to grow your business. I also wanted to share some ideas on how a working capital loan can help your business grow, right? Here are just a few that I've listed, and hopefully, this sparks some ideas on how you can grow your business to help you take your business from point A to point B, or help you achieve what your short-term goals may look like, or your long-term goals. Again, working capital loans can be a great loan process or program to help you achieve what you're looking to do and making sure that you have the guidance and what's going to put you in the driver's seat to be successful. So working capital loans can be used to purchase a retort. You may need a second retort. You may not have a retort today, and that is costing you money. Cremation rates are going up. You may be outsourcing your cremation calls, and that is an expense to your business that you would love to see if you can save that money. Well, financing a retort, buying a retort, having that as an opportunity not only is going to be an immediate cost savings to you, but could also open up the door for an additional revenue stream. Colleagues, competitors, they could turn to you if they don't have a retort and you do. So again, acquiring a retort, if that's something that you're looking to do, I would encourage you to explore about purchasing a retort with an abbreviated loan process like a working capital loan. I think that could help you from a cash flow perspective, again, cutting back on that third-party expense, but also opening up new doors and a new revenue stream for you. Purchasing new vehicles for transportation needs, right? If you're looking to grow your business and you need an additional hearse or van, and you're currently leasing and would like to see what it's available or what financing would look like to purchase a new vehicle. Oftentimes that can be included as a part of working capital, or you can use a working capital loan to purchase any kind of vehicles or transportation needs to help you grow your business. Or again, it may just be more affordable than leasing. And again, that can be an immediate way to help you when it comes down to thinking about your cash flow and when things are a little bit slower. Another thought in which how working capital loans can help your business grow is thinking about working capital in the sense of renovating or updating your facility. Thinking about, a viewpoint or the customer's shoes when they walk in the door. Is the funeral home exactly what you would like it to be for the customer? What kind of feedback are you getting? Maybe you have recently renovated your facilities. Maybe it's been something that's on your mind and you haven't had the cash flow to do it. Maybe you've thought about it and this is kind of your sign to say, hey, this is a great opportunity for me to get more people in the door, try to get a leg up on my competition. Trying to make a very friendly, user-friendly, welcome environment. If that's what you're aiming for, a working capital loan could be a great fit where you have paid for, your facility improvements with cash, which is a great thing. But if you're having cash flow troubles and you would still like to do these things, again, rest assured that this is an opportunity for you with a working capital loan to help you, again, create that vision for your funeral home and provide more space and a more friendly and welcoming environment for the family that comes in the door. And again, we've talked about this a little bit before, but wanted to hone back in on covering unexpected expenses. This is a big thing in the space. You hear about it all the time. Again, just thinking about unexpected things. Who would have even thought COVID several years ago? Right? So you think about what could pop up and preserving your existing cash flow. But again, knowing that there are opportunities out there for you when cash flow is tighter, to know that there are ways for you to grow your business, be able to cover both your short-term and long-term expenses and liabilities. A working capital loan is available to you and can really help you achieve what you're looking to do. Again, when you think of unexpected expenses, you could think about, a new roof, an AC unit breaks, something that may be more impactful to the business where you need the capital quick and you need to just be able to get the money as fast as you can to help. Again, that is certainly a fit and an awesome thing about working capital loans. And then you think about emergency staff, right? heaven forbid, you've got a smaller staff and something unfortunate happens and a staff member is unable to work for a period of time, and you're continuing to pay them on their payroll, but you need to get someone in the door to help you, or to help you when the phone's ringing off the hook. There could be a time where you're going to need staff, part-time help to come in the door, but you may not have the existing business cash flow there to cover those payments. Again, a working capital loan is a great solution for when you find yourself in that situation. Again, someone may be experiencing this exact feeling. Someone may not be now, but they may be in the future. And again, that's just where we want to provide education to know what is available to you when you are having these cash flow challenges. And then expanding services. Working capital loans is going to give you not only, like we talked about, maybe additional revenue when it comes from purchasing a retort, but also, you think about, expanding your services to pet cremation or aqua cremation, right? There's a lot of new ideas and new services that are being offered. You want to be a part of that, right? You want to be ahead of the game. You see the industry changing, but you don't have the capital today to be able to provide these services or do these additional items, or be able to create, an event center space, or, need to expand your facility for a new retort. These are all things that a working capital loan can help you with if you don't have the cash flow today to be able to do some of these items that are either fresh in your mind, or some ideas that have sparked, or some things that you would like to do. Again, friendly reminder, if you have any questions as we're chatting here, feel free to use our chat feature. We will have time for some questions, but again, if something pops up in your head, feel free to throw it in the chat. I'm keeping an eye on that. So feel free to do that. So also wanted to spend a few minutes talking about working capital loans and thinking about things to consider. So I've put together, previously we were talking about different loan options, different products, different programs that are available to you, whether that's an express loan, a conventional term loan, a business line of credit, an SBA working capital loan. All of these are going to be available to you, and, encourage you to review and compare different options when deciding what's going to be the best fit for you. That could look like, reaching out to your existing bank, talking to someone in the space that lends money, that is familiar with the industry. Again, all of this can help you understand what's available to you and things that you should be considering when you are looking to apply for a working capital loan. Some things that I've highlighted below or on our screen here are interest rates. Which one's going to be more favorable? Does it make sense to pay for something in cash? If you don't have the cash, does it make sense to look at a business line of credit, applying for a business credit card, applying for a working capital loan? One of the first things I would ask if I were in your shoes, or something to compare against all of these loan products and the different options that are available to you, are interest rates. Always ask about that, making sure that you're being put in the best position possible to help you both from a short-term interim period to a long-term, and making sure that you are being put in the driver's seat personally as the owner, but also the business as well. Ask about repayment terms. Always be thinking about that. Again, especially if we're talking about a smaller loan amount. A lot of these loan products, depending on the bank, do not have any kind of prepayment penalties, which is great, right? If you can get the money up front, be able to pay back the loan aggressively when business does pick back up, that could be a great solution to you. So encourage you to consider repayment terms when thinking about the different options that are available to you. And when you're having those conversations and wanting to learn more, be sure to ask about repayment terms and making sure that those terms align with what your goals and expectations are. Compare fees and eligibility requirements. Some products may need or may be a little bit different from a eligibility standpoint, which you may be able to, take on. All of the products that we're talking about are user friendly when it comes to, or consumer friendly when it comes to fees. A lot of these working capital loans do not have any fees tied to them, which is again a huge plus when I think about needing the money and needing it quick and not having to worry about any kind of large fees that could be tied to that. But again, certainly something to consider, explore, ask about when it is time to apply for a working capital loan to help you when you are having some cash flow challenges, understanding what's available to you and considering everything in each loan product and what it has to offer. I also encourage you to think about lender reputation and looking at Google or customer reviews. Reviews can tell you a lot, whether it's about the service that they get, the promises, the expectations, were you satisfied? Encourage you to think about all of those things when it comes to, applying for a working capital loan and understanding what is available to you. I think it's really important, to get in front of the folks that you trust, that know the space, referral relationships. Again, everyone wants to see you succeed and everybody wants to help you. But I think making sure that you are familiar with where you are in the process, what's to come, guidance, the education, all of that is really important when it comes to putting you in the driver's seat to be successful. Again, there are many more things to consider when applying for working capital loans, but these are kind of the four that come to top of mind and probably what's on your mind when you think about things that you would like to know or things that you want to ask about. Be prepared to ask these so you can get your answers. So now that we've talked about what to consider and think about, now let's talk and spend a few minutes talking about tips to improve your chances for a loan approval. So here are kind of the 5 biggest factors or things that I would encourage you to be prepared for if you ever find yourself in a situation and wanting to learn more about a working capital loan, or you find yourself applying. Again, especially if you find yourself in a situation where you need the capital quick, these are some great tips, we'll call them, to know up front. So when you do reach out to your bank or lender, you know what's available to you, you know what's going to be needed, and making sure that you're able to get the money and you just have a quality and awesome experience. First and foremost, having current and accurate financials is very, very important. No matter what loan product you are applying for, anytime you're borrowing money, the bank or lender is likely going to ask for some kind of financials. Again, that could vary depending on who you're working with, maybe the size of the financing amount, maybe what the use is. But at minimum, I would say that you would need 1 full tax year and current financial information. Maybe that's 3 years, but I think an expectation would be anywhere from 1 to 3 years, again, depending on your financial partner, who you're using, what it's for. But it's extremely important to have current and accurate financials. I want to stress as well on the accuracy of financials. Having accurate financials is going to allow you to go through the loan process quicker. It's going to allow your bank to move quicker. There's going to be less questions. If there's some discrepancies or some expenses that seem out of line or out of the ordinary, that may be a conversation that may require bringing a CPA or your bookkeeper involved. So again, trying to make sure that your financials are current and accurate is a important tip to know and to be thinking about when it comes to applying for a working capital loan. 2 years of business history. I think this is pretty universal, depending on the product that you're applying for, or again, the amount of money or the use. That could vary depending on who you're working with, but I think a good standard thought is to have 2 years of business history. Again, may not be a requirement, may not always be the case, but I think having a proven track record and ability to successfully run a business is an important thing as well, and something that a bank may look for. Being current on your business and personal debt obligations is also important. A bank is obviously going to look at a personal credit score. Again, I mentioned earlier, sometimes that could be a soft pull, sometimes it could be a hard pull. Again, it could vary depending on who you're working with and what kind of financing you're applying for. But a personal credit score, can tell you a lot more than just a score, right? It can tell you about payment history. It can tell you about their ability to live within their means. A credit score certainly does not define who you are or the person you are or the business owner you are, but personal and business credit is important, and having clean and good credit is going to make your chances for a loan approval that much easier. Again, depending on who you're working with and the kind of financing that you're looking for, I think anywhere from a 650 plus is typically kind of the standard. But again, certainly doesn't mean if you have less than a 650, you may not be able to qualify. If you have greater than a 650, that's great. Again, a score doesn't tell you everything, but these are just things to kind of have in mind for when you prepare to apply for a working capital loan based off of any of the uses and things that we've discussed. And then a business plan. I don't think it ever hurts to be prepared, to have an idea of what the money is going to be used for, to answer questions that the bank may have or your lender may have. And I think it's always good to have, from a goal setting perspective, a vision and something to be reaching for and aiming for. Again, may not always be a requirement for obtaining a working capital loan, but I think having a quality and sound business plan is only going to help. Certainly won't hurt. So these are kind of my 5 tips or things to be kind of working on when it comes to applying for a working capital loan. So in conclusion, I kind of wanted to highlight all of the topics that we've kind of discovered or discussed, I should say, here together during our time. Again, I think it's important to know that in this industry, there are going to be times in which cash flow is an afterthought. Business is great. You're rocking and rolling. You've built a nice reserve. The phone's ringing off the hook. But then, of course, with this industry, calls, revenue, everything being cyclical, there are going to be times in which cash flow is going to be minimal, and you're going to go through seasonal fluctuations, and that's going to be a challenge to you. So again, please know that there are options, there are loan programs, there are working capital loans that are available to you for a variety of uses and needs to help you, get through a difficult time, be prepared for some changes or some renovations or, new services that you want to do. A working capital loan is going to be an awesome fit for when you need it or just when you're going through a difficult time. Second, working capital loans can help you overcome financial obstacles and achieve long-term success. So again, this goes back to, hey, working capital loans can be a great fix. It can really help from a short interim period. but it can also tee you up for future growth and long-term success as well, which I think is really important. Again, you think about maybe even buying another business or buying a new retort or purchasing a vehicle, or just helping with your staffing expense, your inventory. There's working capital loans are a great fix for when you're having cash flow issues and you need a fix for a short term or long term. Encourage you to think about it that way and to always ask and explore what's available to you. A simplified loan process and a faster access to funds. Again, very, very important. I think sometimes there's some myths out there regarding, working with a bank may be able to, maybe a more difficult process, may take a little bit longer. Again, if you find yourself in a situation where you need cash and need cash fast, there are working capital programs that are available to you that have a very abbreviated application process, underwriting, approval, closing process, and can get you the funds that you need in a timely manner. Again, doesn't mean you have to move that fast, but every situation is different, and working capital loans could be a great product that's available to you when you need capital quick. Working capital loans can be used for a variety of different reasons. Again, we've talked about that today. We've also done examples of when an individual may need capital for several different strategies, fixes, payroll, and there's opportunities to bundle all of that into one working capital loan that can really help you, again, short-term and long-term, but allow you to grow your business and help you when you're going through a difficult time. And then I would like to leave you with this last thought, and it is think of working capital as the fuel that keeps your business engine running smoothly. Cash flow is super important. Working capital is super important. It's going to allow you to grow your business, be able to help you achieve your business goals, allow you to cover your staff expenses, save, pay down debt, pay yourself more money, all of the above. Working capital, operating capital is very important. And, there's always going to be times in which cash flow is great. And then because of the industry and the way it works, sometimes there's going to be some weeks that are really, really tight. And you're wondering on how you're going to be able to make ends meet or be able to afford your short-term expenses, payroll, taxes, pay yourself. Just know that working capital loan programs are available to you in a form of different products, and encourage you to always reach out, speak up, and explore what options are available to you and understand, what's going to help you short-term, long-term. And I think that is a great thing to consider, and know that it's available to you regardless of your situation and what you may have going on. So I've left some time here for some questions. Again, feel free to throw any kind of questions that you may have here in the chat. Would love to answer any questions that may be freshly on your mind. And while we give a minute or two to allocate time for questions, I also wanted to share my contact information. This is my cell phone number. Cell phone is always the best way to reach me. I have it on me at all times. You can call, you can text, you can email me. My email address is right there. If anything ever comes up, or you just want to explore or learn more, or just want to pick my brain, I'm always available and would love to assist. Any questions? I appreciate your guys' time. I really hope that there were some takeaways from this webinar today. Again, I'd like to thank ICCFA for the partnership and for having us. We always enjoy sharing content and education to you and the members. So appreciate you all, and let me know if there's anything I can do for you guys. Again, reach out at any time, and best of luck with everything. And I hope you have a great week. Thanks.